next, we got our next key card, which is the key to guidance. Now, we cannot re-enter that room for any circumstances. So now, as you see on the map, that is now completely off limits to us. As will all of the rooms we advance to with these golden cards.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's a lot to explain. So I won't get to really have too much time to just, like, you know, putz around and shit. At least in this first batch of episodes. Alright, so we have not a real great variety of cards here. But I will use one of those 9 cards, because why not? Meeting Ground cards, which is the one I just put out, allows for friend cards to appear more quickly in battle. So, as you can see, now we have Goofy accessible to us immediately. And we got another Meeting Ground card. Cool. Ooh, look at all these Moogle stuffs we're getting. I wanted to hit the Heartless, but apparently I was locked on his barrel. Do a barrel roll! Speaking of rolling, or spinning, good job, Goofy. Now, each map card you get has its own unique sort of traits to them. The premium one, as I mentioned, I'll get into later. It's really freaking useless. It's only really useful when you're, like, really focused on building a deck based on slates, so don't worry too much about the premium cards right now. As I mentioned, the Meeting Grounds let you have friend cards appear earlier, and Lasting Days is where if you strike a Heartless first before battle begins, they will be paralyzed, and all Heartless will be paralyzed. There is a second version of that card which does extreme damage to enemies you stun, but we're not worried about that right now because, well, whatever. Alright, so here is and Goofy missed. Beautiful. Thank you, Gooficus Maximus. Donald. Now, Sora does not just because I tried to set up a slate does not mean that A, the slate is guaranteed to hit, and B, does not guarantee that the slate will even do damage. You have to keep an eye on your opponent and what they are capable of. Some opponents are completely immune from magic, some are heavily vulnerable to certain types of magic. Fortunately, in this game, they're not too dickish about that. They're not just going to have ones that are completely 100% immune to magic. And if they are, they're more than likely going to be Heartless.
Donald!
And thank you, Donald, for using magic on the fire magic on the fucking Fire Heartless.
Yeah. Heal.
You are just the Grand Central Station of disappointment, aren't you? And hey! We got the Red Nocturne, our first enemy card. That will beef up our fire attacks. Which is amazing because we don't have any fire attacks yet. And we won't be getting it for a little bit. And I did not mean to. No, whatever. I don't care. Now, there are special slates that you have access to throughout the game. Now, you have to unlock some of them by level ups. And others... There we go. And others, you just automatically just have to learn or find out how to get them. So, we actually have access to a pretty powerful ability as just Sora, as with Sora, Donald, and Goofy right now. Nothing near as potent as Trinity Limit, but it's still pretty good. And Feeble Darkness, nice. It's level 5, so I may as well give myself my first slate since we just learned it from Squall. And we have Sliding Dash. Slide towards distant targets for a close range attack. 3 attack cards of the same type, total value 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Alright, not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah.
Any more Heartless I might have missed? Does not appear to be. Maybe up here, on this ledge. Aha! There's always a bigger fish. Now, if I can get Donald and Goofy cards at the same time, I'll be able to show off what we got. But at the moment, does not seem like the game wants to be super cooperative in those regards. So, and it is actually, while it is useful now, it will be a pain in the ass when we do ultimately get Trinity Limit. Because, my god, all you want to do is just friggin', let's see, nope, that's not the card I wanted, okay. Let's try a weaker card. Nope. What is the thing to get it then? Are we just not allowed to have it right now? We're supposed to have something called the Wild Crush. But I guess it just doesn't want to spawn. That's sus, but okay. Now, since we used the 9 card on our last time, we need an exact 0 in order to proceed. If you do get stuck like this, you can always go back into the room you were just in and reset it, if that's so desired to you. But I don't really think we need to worry too much about that, especially since we have a 0 and we can just slot it right in. However, that does mean that the 0s will be pretty valuable cards for these situations, so you want to hang on to as many of them as you can. I love how I triggered the Lasting Days thing and I did not actually do it properly.
Heal. Freeze.
Whatever.
Freeze.
Whatever. And I lost a friend card. Sorry, guys. I'm freaking busy here. Alright. Strong Initiative. That is the other version of the Lasting Days card I mentioned. I thought they kept some of these like locked behind certain worlds, but I guess not. I guess not.
Goofy!
And one thing I actually did want to point out in the cutscenes before things got started is you can tell how late this game came out in the States because of Sora's voice actor. Because this is supposed to take place directly after the events of Kingdom Hearts 1, but this was recorded after Kingdom Hearts 2, and I got the premium bonus for some reason. Now, what a premium bonus does is it makes a card's value decrease, which means if you use it on a strong card, it'll be cheaper. However, it means you can only use the card once. So, for example, it lowers the amount that actually costs to have in our deck, but it also only allows us to use it once. So, you can see here, now it's even cheaper to have that card than it is to have that one, but the cost is obviously a lot steeper right now. Let's put Simba in for shits and giggles. At least for now. And I got another attack card. Another 4. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna want to level up CP as much as humanly possible in these games. Like, I know there's a... Oh, there's the end. I was about to say, there's no way to get up then, if they're blocking us off that way. You're going to want to level up CP as much as humanly possible in this game. So that way you won't have to worry about the decks you have used. You won't be stuck having useless cards, like two card decks or something like that. I mean, I don't think that's possible to have just a 2-card deck, at least in this game, since they give you a default decent amount of CP to begin with. But yeah, you just use caution. You'll definitely want to level it up at least 1 or 2 times. At least 50% of the time you do level ups, you'll want to do it. Then after that, it's entirely up to you if you want to focus entirely on slates or if you want to build up your HP bulk. Because yes, enemies will attack harder the later you go into the game. We're just getting pulverized out here. This is why I don't like using weak cards. In case you've ever wondered, this is why I don't like using weak cards. As you'll see with my decks, I like to build them around 5 to 9s. They're more expensive that way.
Freeze!
But...
Freeze! Donald!
There you go. Good shot, Donald. They're more expensive that way, but it'll allow you to not be broken so easily if you just want to mindlessly hit the X button. Because yes, some boss fights are actually better off if you do just do that, instead of using too many slates. Then again, there are some absolutely game-breaking slates you will learn later in the game, so... just keep your eyes peeled.
Heal! Freeze! Freeze!
Alright, and okay. Simba. Now, if you stack up Simba cards as you get them, Simba will also do significantly more damage and his range will increase, which is good. One of the things I was super afraid of them doing when this game went from the, what is it, the 2.5D of Kingdom Hearts, of the original game, to this, I was so afraid they were gonna, like, mess with it. But they more or less didn't. At least with some of the summons. And I threw it in the wrong direction. Way to go, Sora. That could have given us a huge advantage against the Heartless early on, but of course not.
Donald!
Heal me. Heal me. Cool. Not what I really wanted, but I'll take it, I guess.
Heal! Freeze! Freeze!
Now, you notice that when we went to level up last time, we did not have access to our slates. Slates are locked behind levels, so the deeper you go into leveling up, and if you keep pressing slates, you will not get slates for certain levels. So if you want to get all the slates, you're gonna have to be a little bit on the patient side.
Goofy! Whoa! Yeah.
There you go. Nice slate there, Goofy.
Heal!
Alright.
Freeze!
Boom! Get both of those guys out of here. Simba! Simba! There you go. Thanks, buddy. You're such a good kitty cat. In spite of what Scar says about you. Alright, Sleeping Darkness. Not bad. And another key card. Ooh, a 6 now. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting some useful cards. Another 19 points. Can I afford that? I believe I can. Yes, I can. Beautiful. Alright, so now I can officially use Blizzaga as an attack if I so desire. I don't see why you wouldn't want to. It is an extremely powerful ice attack. You just won't want to use it against icy enemies, I guess. Wow, they don't give me a way to get up there in these rooms. At least right now. That's a very dick move. But that's why we're going to be doing the worlds out of order this time around, instead of doing them in the order that we feel like doing them. Or the original orders. Because yes, this game, unlike the Game Boy version, actually benefits from... Let's hit this guy. There you go. This game actually benefits from having actual moves from the original games in there. So we will get high jump and we will get the glide moves if we go to certain worlds earlier, which will make traversing through them significantly easier. Whatever, don't care. Now, while Pluto appeared in that cutscene, one thing they don't tell you about Pluto is that he's actually a friend card in this game. However, getting to him is extremely rare. So, odds are you're probably gonna want to... You're gonna want to look for Pluto as he comes up. I will show you how to get him, but it is pretty rare to get him in general. But if you want to do complete Jiminy's Journal and get all the cards, you're gonna have to see Pluto's card at least once. You don't have to use it, but it is recommended. Alright, so that's everything in this particular room. We can't progress any further. So we're gonna pretty much reshuffle this room out and get a little bit more experience done, if we so want to. Or I can just show off another room. Since we have a bunch of these, now it makes sense. Here we go. We will reshuffle this room into Feeble Darkness. Now, Feeble Darkness cards are very interesting. Now Heartless will have cards of lower values. Now, the lowest they can get is 1, but it does help us because now the enemies will have a lot harder time breaking our cards. So we'll be able to get combos off, we'll be able to just blitz through some fights if we need to. And Donald, all of Donald's attacks are just beautiful. Thank you, Donald. Thank you. Whatever. There is, of course, an opposite to this, which I believe is called Almighty Darkness, which I more or less just collect just for, you know, the lulz.
Power.
Ooh, Simba just nuked them. Good job. Thank you. We also can get more... You can also do this to get more Moogle points and HP points if you need. So you can basically cheese this game in more ways than they kind of... I think they kind of intended for you to. Because more or less the world sizes in these games will increase... And these worlds will increase. So the odds are you don't really need to just respawn rooms and fight Heartless to your, lack of a better term, heart's content. But it is beneficial in a way. It is actually very beneficial in a way.
Heal. Freeze.
And that's, I think, just a regular Tranquil Darkness card. Cool. More Moogle points. We always need them. And yes, you actually will need them, especially if you want to get all of the cards in the game. Because you're not guaranteed some of them. Well, all but enemy cards. You cannot get enemy cards without beating certain enemies. Fortunately, they give you ways to get certain enemy cards a little bit easier than others, but you'll just want to, you'll want to keep your eyes out for when certain enemies appear and where they appear. So you might be able to get yourself another version of the card. The weird thing is, I don't think you can get a Moogle Shop card here just yet. Which is weird because it's in Traverse Town where the Moogle Shop was in the first game. Alright. Screw this, Simba! Simba! Hey, you know. Nuke them Heartless out of existence. And another red card. Okay. We got Stun Impact. But for the sake of argument, I'm just going to keep increasing our CP for now. It's kind of important, guys. It's kind of important. And also, in case you couldn't tell, we can still go back into that room as it's the same room we opened up last time, so we're not limited to the kinds of rooms we can go into. Alright, so leap up this way. Leap up this way. I think we've done enough stalling for one episode. Let's get rid of one of these. Oh, I have two of those, but they don't meet the criteria. But this one does. Why the hell is Pluto with them? It makes no sense. Aerith, have you forgotten me too? I don't know whether to say nice to meet you or good to see you again. I don't think I know you, but I still feel like you belong here. Yeah, exactly, like we've never met, but it still doesn't feel weird knowing your name. But I'm telling you, we have met. We took on the Heartless together. We were a team. Sora, I know your memory's not the best, but Squall beat up one Heartless and then ran for the safest area possible, and these two just ran. In fact, the only damage Yuffie did in the original game was specifically against us. I don't understand why. It feels like you're right, but I can't remember. And I guess you won't remember what you told me? In Hollow Bastion when I sealed the keyhole? We may never meet again, but we'll never forget each other. See, you do remember. He's right, Leon. I remember you saying that too. I guess I can't write it off as a coincidence then. I don't have any memory of it, but somehow I still remember. I think your heart is doing the remembering for us. My heart? We don't know you, Sora, but your heart is full of memories of us together. Those memories must resonate in our hearts too. Maybe they tell us the things we couldn't otherwise know. So you're saying that Sora's memories are affecting us? His memories do seem to have a certain power. Maybe it's like that guy said then. This town is just an illusion, something my memories created. And there's someone special to you in this town? How did you... I get it. My memories are resonating with yours, telling you what happened. Yeah, a friend of mine is somewhere in this town. I mean, Castle Oblivion. Castle Oblivion? What's that? There aren't any castles in here. That's not quite what I mean. You're still not sure what's going on yourself, right? Right, we just got here after all. I want to take a better look around. Then go have a walk around. There are Heartless, but that's no problem for you. So you know I can fight. I can't say I know, but I feel like believing you. Let's leave it at that. And with that, we obtained the Key to Truth, aka the third act of Traverse Town's story. May as well refresh this room as well. You know, we'll do Sleeping Darkness. This one's one of my favorite ones because the room is incredibly small and none of the Heartless attack you. However, the funny thing is, if there is a Heartless right in front of you, it can trigger a fight immediately. I think that only happens in the Game Boy game, but it is very funny if it happens. Because you could do this thinking, oh, well, I definitely am safe in this room, and then no, you're not safe. Definitely one of the funnier aspects of this. Now, yes, like I said, I will show you guys how to get Pluto, but he, again, not a guarantee to show up. And of course, Sora was looking in the exact wrong direction. Alright, get rid of those Heartless. Good job, Simba. Now, yes, all of the summons from Kingdom Hearts 1 do make appearances in this game. So if you were hoping for, like, Genie to pop up, or Tinkerbell, or Dumbo, or any of them specifically, they do spawn up. And some of their cards are useful in extremely powerful slates that we'll get later on in the game. So try to, you know... Try to keep your eyes out for them. Now, some slates are locked behind treasure chests. Some slates are locked behind bosses. You just gotta keep your eyes peeled for anything and everything that could potentially mean anything. There we go. Alright. So we're pretty much clearing through most of these Heartless now easily. Which is naturally when the game usually decides to be a dick to me and becomes hard, but I can't really see it becoming that hard this early. My guess is the hardest thing will be the second world, because it actually has that we have to do, because that actually has a secret, has a final boss fight that's really hard to pull off sometimes. But I think as long as we just blitz through some of these Heartless and clear our way through things, we should be in good shape. There you go. And, oh, I thought I got a Shadow card. That would have been cool. Teaming Heartless cards, the one we just picked up, are easily the best for when it comes to grinding, because large amounts of Heartless appear, and you can you're pretty much guaranteed at least a level through all of those through all of those rooms, or at the very least cutting your experience yield in half. Alright, let's see, we got a 3 card for that. We don't have that much room, but we don't really have any need for it anyway. In fact, if I do equip that card, it'll make my job all the more challenging. Keep that one for now. We have 2 of those, so we'll use that. And there you go.